Alright everyone, now I come to you with surreal news, which is, look at the link in the description, archived of course. The New York Times is basically blaming Donald Trump for almost being assassinated twice. This is not hyperbole. It'll blow your mind when you read this article. I think a couple of other creators have already commented on this. The New York Times coming out and saying, well, Trump stoked division and hatred and, all of the other bad things in the world. He's responsible for literally everything. He's basically Satan. And so he's responsible for the fact that he was shot at several times. And then another person was attempting to shoot him. Didn't apparently take a shot, but apparently tried. We're still not sure about that explosives case. The police are denying that any explosive was found, but it appears that there's mixed messages there. And now we've got a news story that some people that attended the Trump rally that day came down with odd symptoms, actually. I've seen several news articles about that. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. I'm going to research more and probably bring that in a live stream later, assuming that I live stream. Otherwise, it'll be on Friday. I'm not exactly sure what's happening with that story. Now, Donald Trump is responsible for being shot at because he stokes hatred and division. It's not the New York Times or the legacy media, repeatedly calling him Adolf Hitler and all sorts of terrible things and suggesting that democracy will die if he's elected. No, they're not responsible for that. Trump's responsible for the fact that he was shot at. I think that this is reprehensible, actually. It's extremely, the discredit to journalism that an article like this brings, and this is the reason that you need to archive everything, because sometimes you get these takes, and they'll try to scrub the article when they get backlash. It's reprehensible to blame someone for almost being killed after years and years of them being declared an enemy of the earth, so to speak, is terrible. It makes absolutely no sense. Donald Trump is not responsible for someone attempting to shoot him. I don't think that that's his intent. I don't think that he wants that. I don't believe that he would like to be shot in the head. I get the feeling that he's not an aficionado of that sort of thing. I'm just saying. It might be a little bit obvious. But the New York Times, by hosting this article here, is literally blaming the former president of the United States based on his bellicose rhetoric. You remember that term from the Fox News era with Bill O'Reilly, probably. Blaming him for being shot. He was literally shot, but it's his fault, of course. Orange man bad. Now, we've heard this before. It's basically like, my toilet got clogged. It must have been Trump. Something Trump-related. Somehow, in a workaround scenario, everything is Donald Trump's fault. So my toilet didn't flush right and flooded. Well, it's because Donald Trump deregulated toilet standards or something like that. My neighbor got robbed. Well, Donald Trump reigned over the crime spree. We've seen this over and over and over again. They're still doing it. The fact is, the reason why Trump was shot at appears to be mentally ill individuals got radicalized by the legacy media. Here we see an example of the legacy media then retroactively blaming Trump for that problem that they themselves have created. It's not a surprise. They can't get off of the TDS bandwagon. By the way, I wanted to posit something. When Trump does eventually die, hopefully of natural causes at a ripe old age, when he does eventually croak, I can't wait to see the news coverage. I can't wait to see all of the shit that they're going to unload off of him. And they will. They're not going to do like the normal remembrance thing, like when Jimmy Carter croaks, and hopefully he makes it to 100. I think his birthday is in a couple of weeks. We're rooting for you, Jimmy. When he dies, he'll lie in state, and there'll be remembrance ceremonies, and everyone will say great things about him and how wonderful he was. When Donald Trump eventually dies, and again, hopefully he lives to see 100 as well, because that'd be fucking hilarious to see his enemies twirling themselves into fucking pretzels. Why isn't he dead yet? They'll literally do that, by the way. They'll be persecuting him till the end of the age. When he dies, I don't expect them to even allow him to lie in state. honestly. I think that the Democrats will attempt to prevent that from happening. I think that they will either basically wall it off and memory hole his entire existence, or it'll be a never-ending barrage of hatred. And the real thing is, this article posits that Trump is hateful, and therefore he's responsible for the political climate in which he would be shot at in the first place. But it's the legacy media that's stoking the hatred. He doesn't seem to hate anyone. His slogan is basically, oh, make America great again. Okay. So it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter which gender you are. It doesn't matter if you like to suck cocks or vaginas. None of these things matter. You're an American. He's trying to root for you. He's trying to promote you. You can't always please everyone. Sometimes you have to have a policy that will disenfranchise some people in order to benefit the greater good in some way. This is, again, why I'm a classical liberal, because I prefer that to be done as scantly as possible. But it's the legacy media that has been stoking division. Look at the Democrats' platform right now, for example, with things like BIPOC and social Marxism and stuff like that, collectivism. They're the ones that are trying to divide people. It's not Donald Trump. He's just saying, I support America. Okay, well, that includes 100% of Americans. You can't please them all the time, but 100% of them are included in that total. With the Democrats, it's more like, this group should be opposed to that group. That group should be opposed to this group. That's what we're seeing. That's what we got from the Republicans for a long time. Donald Trump has taken it into a completely different direction. A much more positive one, I will add. Blaming the man for being shot when he has done nothing wrong. He reigned over a good economy. He reigned over a period of good diplomacy in which we didn't start any new foreign conflicts, in which foreign conflicts generally weren't happening at all, mainly because people were fucking terrified of the man. What more do you want? How can you possibly blame him for somebody else deciding to try to take his life? And that's happened now on two and possibly now three separate occasions. Again, we're not sure exactly about that chemical exposure story. I'll be looking into that. And it's reprehensible. Journalistic standards are basically null and void at this point. There are no journalistic standards when you really think about it. And again, this is the New York Times. They used to be a respected newspaper, a respected outlet. They haven't been now for a couple of decades, basically. It's like during the Bush administration, they held his toes to the fire. They don't do any hard-hitting journalism now. They'd rather ignore the fact that Kamala Harris won't answer even basic questions, and then you have this. It's one of the most phantasmagoric things that I've actually read in my entire life. Oh, Trump was almost killed. Well, yeah, but his hateful rhetoric is what caused this political climate. Bullshit. That's about all. Peace out.